Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Love Queendom. This is a space of love and joy and peace and abundance and all the good things. And here at the Love Queendom, we talk about spiritual ascension and how to create your own reality. And today, what we're going to be talking about is what is karma, what are karmic patterns, and most importantly, how do you clear out your karma and your karmic patterns, okay? So, to begin, I think most people are familiar with the word karma, and most people's conceptualization of what karma is sort of like what goes around comes around. You know, that is the common framework that people think of when they're thinking about karma. So if you do good to other people, good things will happen to you. If you do bad things to other people, bad things will happen to you. And that is kind of how people think about karma, right? And I don't want to say that that's wrong, but let's just say from the framework that we're perceiving reality from, that's not exactly how karma works, okay? So when we're talking about karma and karmic patterns, what we're actually referring to are energetic patterns that you are unaware of, that you are living from, okay? And let me sort of explain this further. So we conceptualize reality here at the Love Queendom as a holographic, video game, basically, right? And so in this holographic video game that we're in, everyone's body is like an avatar that they're using to project out their own experiences, their own reality, okay? Now, based on this framework, what you're able to experience in this holographic video game is going to be based on how your player, okay, or your avatar is programmed. So if your avatar is not running the programs that you need to experience certain things, you're not going to be able to have that experience, okay? And these programs, like I said, they're energetic. So it's almost like a feeling that is on you. It's like a feeling that has been stamped onto your vessel that feels natural for you because that was how you were raised. But this feeling, okay, these energetic patterns that are also like a feeling, these are also sort of subconscious belief programs as well. Okay, that is how I like to conceptualize it also. Ultimately, it is a feeling, it is an energy. But like I said, a lot of it does have to do with like how your mind thinks also is like, how you feel is how you think, and how you think is how you feel. Like they're very interconnected, right? So in the matrix, right, especially this lower earth 3D matrix that most people are in, we have all been imprinted with different energies, okay, like different lower earth 3D energies from our childhood, okay? And like I said, these energies basically determine how we feel. But when I'm talking about how we feel, what I'm really referring to is like what we feel like we're worthy of and what we feel like is possible for us to experience, okay? So, for example, if you grew up in a poor household and your parents didn't have a lot of money and you really kind of were indoctrinated with this belief system of lack, what that's going to do to you, even if your parents never spoke about money a lot or anything, you felt it, right? You felt that constraint around money. So what this can do to people often is that feeling of not having enough will be natural to you. That is your natural energy that you were programmed with. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you won't become rich in your life because you were imprinted with that program. It can actually manifest in your life in a variety of different ways, whatever energies that you're imprinted with. So in this particular example, how this energy can materialize in your reality is that you could accept this energy as normal, and this is just how you feel, and this is just how life is. So you also end up living like your parents, living in this kind of poverty and lack mindset. You never really come out of that, and your life remains constrained to that poverty, right? Another way that this can materialize for you is that you actually can spend your whole life trying to run away from your own energy. People do this all the time, okay? And in my opinion, actually, a lot of wealthy people, this is what they're doing, they are actually in energies of lack and scarcity that was imprinted on them from growing up in a poor household. And so their quest for success and money and wealth has to do with them not wanting to feel that way anymore. And so they accumulate all of this money and wealth and all this stuff to try and garner this feeling of having enough and having made it, right? But when you sit down with a lot of these people, what you'll find is that they never actually really feel like they have enough, right? And that is because on a subconscious level, the belief system that they're operating off of, okay, the energy that has been imprinted onto them that they never actually got rid of was this feeling of, I don't have enough, and like, I don't want to feel like I'm poor. So, let me accumulate in the physical to run away from that feeling, right? So as I said, there are many ways how these energies can materialize in each person's individual reality. But ultimately, when we talk about karmic patterns, this is what we're referring to, okay? We are referring to energetic patterns that have been imprinted on you. These are subconscious belief programs. These are also feelings that you have that, because they were imprinted on you from when you were a child, it feels so natural, you don't even realize that it's there, okay? And oftentimes we don't realize these things are there and that they're affecting us until we try to do things that kind of hit on those energetic limitations, right? And this often happens to people in their career. Another really big one that it happens to people is in their love life, where you're trying to have, a healthy, stable, intimate relationship with someone, and you just can't seem to make it work, no matter who you try it with or what methods you're doing. You read all of these relationship books and you try all these things. You're never able to really have the kind of relationships that you want. You're manifesting the same type of partner over and over and over again in different bodies. Okay. And that is because you can only experience what is energetically compatible with you. Right. And again, how some people try to run away from this is that instead of, clearing out their energy patterns, raising their level of self-worth and getting themselves to a place where, they're actually able to attract the kind of love and the kind of partner that they really want, what ends up happening is that maybe they go for somebody who is quote unquote not their type, right? So they don't really feel quote unquote love with this person, but it allows them to have, a stable relationship where they can get married and have kids and all of that stuff, right? It's easier for them because it's not pushing on their energetic limitations, meaning there's no triggers and nothing like that, right? This happens all the time. So now that you guys kind of have an idea of what I'm referring to when I talk about, karmic patterns, okay? And like I said, these karmic patterns, they are passed down to you from your parents, from the people around you when you're growing up. Okay, a lot of this also has to do with indoctrination in school too, because like I said, It's not just about how you feel. It's also about belief programs that are running in your subconscious mind. So now that you kind of have an understanding of what this is, how do you actually clear it? Okay. And actually, just quickly before I go into that, scientists have tried to study this because they've observed this phenomenon of people sort of repeating the patterns of their parents. And the study of this is called epigenetics, okay, where certain behaviors and even, like things like illnesses and stuff being genetically passed down, this is also part of this, karmic patterns. And, some people, like when it's really bad stuff, some people call it like generational curses and things like that, right? But at the end of the day, scientists, they observe it. They're not really able to fully understand it, though, because, again, they're looking at it purely from a physical perspective. They're not looking at it from a metaphysical or spiritual perspective, right? So because we do look at it at the Love Queendom from an energetic perspective, from a spiritual perspective, okay, if you want to clear out these patterns, right, and you want to be able to really take control of your reality in a way that there are no limitations for you anymore, whatever you want to materialize and manifest, it really is just dependent on your potency of normalizing that feeling within yourself and cultivating the normalcy of that feeling in your mind. What you have to do is clear yourself out energetically, okay? So now let's talk about a few ways that you can do this, okay? And like I said, these karmic patterns are both thoughts, okay, subconscious beliefs and feelings. So in my personal opinion, I don't think that you can only do one over the other, meaning that you can't just change how you feel by doing things physically to your body and not clear your mind also. You really, really do have to work very hard on your subconscious programs. So the number one that I will always mention is doing affirmations, specifically using I am affirmations that change how you feel within yourself, okay? Like if you feel limitless, if you tell yourself that over and over and over again, that belief locks in your mind and it also puts you in that feeling consistently of feeling limitless, okay? Or feeling abundant, or feeling free, or feeling loved, right? Or feeling worthy. You got to pump your mind with these kinds of beliefs in order for you to free yourself of the limiting beliefs that were imprinted on you from childhood. This is really, really important. And this is where I plug my affirmation program, because it is filled with affirmations that are positive and that help to put you in that feeling, right? By changing the subconscious beliefs in your mind, okay? And if you do this very consistently, you actually feel the energy within you shifting, okay? You feel yourself being, purging lower energies and being lifted up into a lighter and more positive space, okay? So it's a real thing and it's very, very powerful, right? I record my own affirmations. There's tons of people on YouTube that have positive affirmations, subliminal programs and all of that type of stuff that you can listen to. I recommend listening to ones, like I said, that really focus on I am affirmations that fill your mind with love, fill your mind with no limitations, with worthiness, because a big part of being able to materialize things in your reality is you feeling worthy of having those things and of you not having limitations in your mind about your ability to even materialize it in the first place, okay? So this is really, really important. Now, another one that I want to shift to as well, which is like a mind work type of thing that can help you clear out these karmic patterns, okay? Meditation. So in the beginning of my journey of healing and reprogramming myself, I used to do a lot of meditations where I would, calm down my conscious mind, and then I would sort of listen to these same affirmations while I was in a more meditative state. That also absolutely does work too. However, I was actually so unstable at the time of my awakening that I literally figured out that it was better for me to listen to these affirmations just on a loop every day for as much as I could, just to keep myself feeling in that good energy, because I would do the meditations and the feeling really would be there. Periodically after the meditation, I would feel it and then I would kind of drop back down, The same thing will happen with the affirmations, but with the affirmations, you can just play it as much as you want, and it's getting in there like 24/7. Whereas, with meditation, if you meditate on a thought, positive sentences about yourself, again, I like to really focus on I am things. It does work, like I said, but I just think that from a time perspective, it can take longer when you're doing the meditations, and you really actually have to take time out of your day to do the meditations. But either one works. And I also think that being able to sit still with yourself, even if it's for only 10 minutes a day, I do believe that that is a really good skill to build on your spiritual journey. Okay. Now, the next one that we're going to talk about is fasting. Okay. And fasting, and I'm talking about, not eating food. Okay. So physical fasting. How this works is that it actually sort of acts as, your body sort of mirroring your mind in a way, or your mind will sort of mirror your body. That's more what I'm trying to say. Okay. So it's like, if you completely empty out your vessel and purify your body by not consuming anything, that will elevate your energy, especially if you are trying to be centered in your heart. Your intentions are really pure. That will elevate your frequency, that will lift you up, and it will also purify your mind too. And what happens to a lot of people when they're in a fasting state and they've really cleansed themselves out, they start having like revelations, right? Because their mind is so clear, their body is so clear, their vessel is so pure, so they can start channeling, this higher frequency type of information. So that is also another really great way for you to raise your vibration, raise your frequency, clear yourself out of any kind of karmic imprints. This is really, really good also for any kind of like energy patterns that you've taken on from other people that you've tied yourself to, whether it's sexually or just being around people and, their energy kind of rubbing off on you. Fasting can be a very good way of ridding yourself of that energy as well. Okay. And tying into this as well is going to be sexual abstinence. Okay. This one is extremely, extremely important. Okay. Because if you want to stop looping yourself into energy patterns where you're not actually able to control your reality in the way that you want to, you have to be extremely mindful of who you're tying yourself to sexually, because you're taking on those people's energy, okay? Especially when you have unprotected sex with people, what actually happens is that you take on some of their programs, some of their energetic imprints. They take on some of yours. It can be totally random, okay? And you don't know what kind of energy that person has within them. You don't know whether they're having a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, whatever limiting belief programs they have, whatever energy is on them, that will get put onto you, right? And this is honestly a really, really tragic way that a lot of people drag themselves down unknowingly, is sleeping with the wrong people who are in low vibrational energies. And then they get stuck in that low vibration and they don't know how to pull themselves out of it anymore. And then now you're in a low vibrational reality, and all you can do is run around in that low vibrational reality trying to escape it. But because you're not understanding that your reality is based on the energy that you're in, now you're stuck, right? And the longer that you stay in it, the more natural that also begins to feel for you. So even if it doesn't feel good, if you're not noticing and you're not aware, you really could mess yourself up with that, okay? I have seen this happen a lot. This almost happened to me as well. So I know this from firsthand experience, okay? If you want to clear out your karmic imprints, you have to abstain sexually, okay? And you really have to be mindful of who you're tying yourself to sexually as well. Sexual energy transfer, I think, is a topic that I'll discuss in a separate video. But when it comes to clearing your karmic patterns, this is something that you're going to have to do as you're going through that process, okay? But in my personal opinion, I think probably the two most powerful ones are going to be, reprogramming your subconscious mind using affirmations or meditations or a combination of the two. As I said, I think fasting can be a really good way to purify yourself as well and cleanse yourself of energies that you no longer want to have in your vessel. And lastly, as I said, sexual abstinence is really important so that you don't take on other people's karmic patterns that you don't want unknowingly, okay? So these are sort of my top recommendations. There are some other recommendations that people have, such as like energy cleansing baths, speaking affirmations to water and drinking it. These things can also help to shift you energetically as well, okay? But the reason why I am always so adamant about, using affirmations and listening to them for like 10 to 15 hours a day if you can, is because what I have found in my own experience is the matrix is really, really, really insidious, okay? And the energies of the matrix are so low and so strong and so powerful as well, that for you to really completely lift yourself all the way out of it to the point where you're no longer feeling those energies whatsoever at all, and you're completely off that timeline, you have to be extremely aggressive, okay? So just doing a little meditation here and there every day, it's not going to get you there, okay? Eating fruits and vegetables and sitting in the sun, it's not going to get you there, okay? You really have to clear out on a subconscious level, which will clear you out energetically as well, all of the limiting beliefs, and fill yourself with so much love that there is no room for any negative imprinting to be on you, okay? And then once you're constantly in a good energy, you can start playing around with, other types of affirmations to program you to do different things, because at the end of the day, what you're really doing when you're clearing out your karmic patterns, your karmic imprints, is you are reprogramming yourself on a subconscious level. You're literally becoming a new person. You're changing who you are. What you will notice is that the things that you're interested in will change. Even how you dress will change because you feel like a completely different person, right? And that's what you want. So even if a lot of the people from your old reality are still there, who you are will change, and, your dynamic with them will change as well. And that's perfectly okay. And you will feel good about it because you will be in a higher self-worth energy, and you'll be so comfortable to be who you are and, to enforce your boundaries as needed. So I hope that you guys found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, comment. If you have anything to add as well, please feel free to share. And I will see you guys in the next episode.